Hi, this is Edith, Educational Technologist at Oregon Tech, and in this video I want to go over the Microsoft Outlook options that you have available. This video may run a little bit long, so I just want to prepare you before then because there are a lot of options that you do have available in Microsoft Outlook. But what I want to start with is going into the file options. This is where you would set everything up that you need to do for mail. So I've gone over a lot of these in other videos regarding the programs that they're associated with, but I know that not everybody's going to watch those videos. So if it is redundant, go ahead and skip over it, because unless there's something that you find you want to learn more about. Because in each program too, there are a little bit different, but this part of the very beginning, the general, is very much similar. So again, we got to show the mini toolbar, which is up here, and enable live preview. And again, if you hover over the little eyes, it'll give you more information about how it looks. So I always have that checked because I do like to make sure when I'm setting up an email or a document that I can see what it's going to look like, because maybe it's not going to be formatted the way I expected. You can do show feature descriptions and screen tips, or you don't have to. My feeling is if it's there by default, enough people have asked for it, so I leave it. But again, you can make those choices on your own. And then, of course, this information is yours. You can change your background. And just be aware, if you change it here, it changes on all the other programs. And then, of course, your theme. So that's, again, up to you what color you want. The colorful is what I have, but you can have dark gray, black, and white. Try them out. See what you like. And then make Outlook the default program for email, contacts, and calendars. I would recommend, if that is not checked, that you do check it, because that's what you're probably going to use for most of your stuff, and it talks with the Skype for Business. So you may cause some confusion if you change it, but no, if you change it, you can always change it back. And if you don't know how to do that, or you have questions about that, please feel free to contact me. Mail. So there are a lot of options in Mail. Usually this is one of our bigger ones besides Advance. So when you are composing a message, you may be asked what type of you may get a message from some location that says that they need an HTML format. I would recommend leaving it as HTML format if it is already set for you. It's just that so you can enter pictures and graphs and all of that. If it's not in HTML format, then you don't have those same options. You can do spelling and autocorrect. As you can see, my options were turned off because sometimes I get very frustrated with autocorrect. So this is where you can change those settings, though, so you can ignore uppercases and force accented uppercase in French. If you use that, your custom dictionaries, check spelling as you type, mark grammars as you type. I kind of like that one. Frequently confused words, check grammar with spelling, and readability statistics. So, that's something you probably can play with if you're interested in doing that. And of course, there's the advanced options, so you can go through all of these. I really will not be going over all of these. It's a lot of stuff to talk about, but just be aware that these are available to you. I don't feel that there's anything really significant standing out here that you need to change. Probably the only thing is the control click to hyperlink. I like it. I would leave it. If you're not sure, leave it. It doesn't hurt anything if you do. It doesn't hurt anything if you don't. So you have all of these, definitely a lot of choices here. And so just read over them, see if there's something that you're interested in. And again, I can help you further dig deeper into it if you have more questions. Create or modify signatures for messages. So I have a signature. You can see I have actually two signatures. So this is the one that I like to use. And this is where you can actually edit the signature itself, or create a new signature. And so when you're creating a new signature, you can just click new and then put the name of the signature in there and then edit it as you wish. And then one of the other things that you want to recognize here is so what account is it going to? So usually you only have the one account. You can choose not to put a signature, say, in a new message, which kind of seems like it would defeat the purpose of the signature. But you can also disable it from replies and forwards. So if you don't want all of that to be reissued every time you do a reply, you can actually turn it off. For me, I like to have it just so that I know where I am in that. And I can go over more about signatures in another video because there is a lot that you can do, and I would like to talk about that. You can change your stationery. So this is kind of fun. You can click on themes, and sometimes you'll get, oh, let's look at the bear, so you can do bears, or you can do deep blue. So you can actually change how the background of your email message gets sent out. As you can see, stationery is different. It says stationery. It is different from one of these. These are more like about colors and how they're set up in. It's a template. So how email is worked, formatted in the message versus stationery. Stationery is just a background, and that will carry over when you send over an email. So you can go through these and, I like this style. I think it's really nice. This one's kind of cool because it does have a different background. So you can actually just pick it and just say, okay. So anytime that I do a new message, it will come up with that, and we can look at that later. And you can see it disables my fonts down here because it already has it set up, but as you can see, I can always use my own fonts, and then I can change them. So that's and then that's where you would change them. Here is this font I want to be, Arial black, and so I have those options to do that. And then perhaps I want it to be Arial black, but I want it to be in a different color because that way I know I've replied, and I can say okay. So you can see I can actually set this up any which way I want to do. So if I'm going to do a plain text, so that's different than the HTML, I can also change the font here and just say, okay, I like the Calibri, but I want it instead in purple, and just say okay. So I do have that option. So I'm going to go ahead and put it back to that and just say okay. Okay, so your reading pane. So that's what you're going to see when you get a mail message from anybody. You can choose how that looks. So mark items as read when viewed in the reading pane. So my recommendation, don't check that, because you may clicked on it and read a little bit if there's a little bit in the reading pane, and then maybe it's something you want to finish reading later, but you see it as marked as read and you just kind of glance over it. So to me, it makes more sense to leave that unchecked. Mark items as read when selection changes, single key reading using spacebar, and turn on automatic full screen reading and portrait orientation. So I think for that, this bottom one is more for somebody who has a tablet. So, but you can pick and choose, and again, these are default settings here. This is what it looks like when you first get your Office Outlooks set up. Now, message arrival. I really like the message arrival. I always play a sound. I always show an envelope in the icon taskbar, and I display a desktop alert. So basically, I'll get notified 3 different ways. I get a little noise that tells me one's coming. I also get a icon that shows up. Unfortunately, I don't have one right now, and I also have a desktop alert that'll just tell me, hey, it comes out with a dialog box, you just got a message. Normally I don't have this checked. I just reinstalled my Office, so that may be why it was checked. So it is a default. And you can change the mouse pointer. So I don't do that one because that just distracts me, and then I'm like, I'm not sure why it did, why is this changing? It takes me a second to realize it was because of of an email coming in. Cleanup items will go to this folder, so you can basically do a cleanup, and we can go over that in another one, but there's the cleanup here. And so you can actually make a folder so that you don't permanently delete the emails, because maybe something that you didn't mean to delete, because sometimes they do duplicates and stuff. So you have these options in cleaning up. So I don't move unread messages, so you might want to check that one if it's not checked for you, because it may see it as a duplicate, but it's not. Maybe the same message, maybe the same header, but there's different information. So that's up to you. I personally don't use the cleanup tool, so I don't change anything in here. Replies and forwards. Again, you can make choices of how you want to reply and forward. So I don't do a reply and forward in a new window. It's just too many windows opening. But again, it's your personal choice. Maybe you want to go from one to the other, so you have that option. Close the original message window when replying or forwarding. Same thing. I usually like to include the original message when I reply. That way, if somebody sends me something and I have to go back and look and see what it was referencing, because it may have been a day or two later, I at least have that. And same for the with the forwarding email message. Automatic save. Again, I stress this for everybody, regardless of what program you're in. Make sure you have this checked. You want to make sure that your stuff is getting saved. And then in Outlook, it will save to drafts, and you can see I have a drafts folder down here. So you can actually write an email message and not even put a user, to person, who you're sending it to. You can just actually compose the message, close it, and it'll save it to drafts. So that's really a very cool function. And I don't know if you just saw, I actually just got an email. So you can see now that, well, for some reason my notification wasn't working, and perhaps it's because I'm in options. So I apologize for that. We'll move on. Again, don't change anything. If you're not sure, don't change anything. That's all I ask. If you have more questions, feel free to contact me, because I'm more than glad to sit down and talk with you. Send messages. So, you can actually change your message priorities. Leave it at normal. It's, unless you need to actually prioritize, make sure that everybody knows about it. Don't send them high priority. Unless it's something that's an action item that has to be taken care of right at the moment, I would suggest not to do it. All it does is just change the priority of how it's viewed in the screen. Normal is fine. It gets to where it's going. You don't really need to change it. You can mark messages expired after this many days, so you don't have to have it sitting there waiting for you. You can use commas to use your multiple recipients. That's kind of a nice feature too. And I sometimes do that, but so you're using commas instead of the semicolons. So I'll sometimes use that. I'm just used to the semicolons anymore, so I don't even bother with that. Automatic name checking. This is all of these are defaults. Again, I didn't change anything yet. Automatic name checking. So if you type in somebody's name, it'll automatically check for you. Please don't undo it, because you may get somebody within the organization, you think you spelled them wrong. This at least helps you. It saves you a step. So, you can, but why? It's easy. Delete meeting request and notification from inbox after responding. So usually if you get a notification that somebody wants to meet with you, this is where you can, and you reply to them that yes or no, I'm going to go to this meeting. It'll just automatically put it on your calendar and take it out of the email messages. Now, if you want it to stay, that's fine. Just uncheck the box. Control Enter sends a message, so if you don't want to use the send button, or you just got a keyboard for some reason and you don't have your mouse, that's how you would send it. Use autocomplete to suggest names when typing into to and CC. So yes, that's very good to do as well, because a lot of these programs recognize who's in there. You can also empty the autocomplete list. I'm going to say no because I do email a lot of people and I'd rather not type in their names. That's all it's doing is so if I'm emailing Mark, somebody that I email all the time, it just automatically will know that I picked that person. You can have the mail tips options on and off. I don't use them. Tracking, I will go over that more later, but basically you can actually send a read receipt for every message, so you can make sure everybody who reads that message, once they open it, you will get an email. And it's kind of a nice feature because if somebody says, I never read that, well, now you have an email that says, yes, they did. You can also force them to send the message. And so what I would recommend is if you do enable this feature, go ahead and ask them to check this box so that they will have to basically say, yes, I'll send it, or no, I won't. If they don't, you don't get a message, but it gives the person the ability to do it. So it's basically up to you. I mean, it depends on how much you want to document something. Automatically process meeting requests and responses to the meeting polls. So, you can just leave these as much as, you can change them as you want. And after updating tracking information, you can move to the deleted items. This is just formats. Don't change this, please. It's just stuff that probably can't be is not useful to change. But if you need to change it, or you want to change it, or you need to know more information, please contact me about it. Show paste options when button is pasted into message. So again, I've gone over this in other videos, and the paste has 4 different types of options. So you just pick which one you want. A lot of times I'll use the image pasting because I feel that it is easier to read and easier for the users to get an image instead of having to download a whole bunch of information. It just turns it into a picture for you. And show next and previous links when moving in your header, so you'll have those up there. Something else we can go over in an overview. And then other show paste options when content is pasted into, we already went over that, sorry. So you have all of these options. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and stop this video, and I'm going to continue on in another video because I don't want to overwhelm everybody, and there may be something that you want to discuss further as far as the mail or know more about. So if you have any other questions, please feel free to contact me. Thank you.